And how's it going, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Oopscast with your
Oopscast.
co-host Kishan and
Brand Crying.
man, it has been a long time coming, and I know. We went to the liquor store and we didn't come back after I don't know how long, but you know what, man? It's been a while. It's been a while.
Oh,
We had that same excuse of just school and shit. Shit gets tough with school.
definitely, man. Like I know we keep mentioning that, but like we're just doing our best so we can have a successful future. But hey, we're here now, so that's all that matters.
And we miss you guys. We miss our viewers. So yeah, it's just we want to get this going. Enough of this sob talk because we know Grant's got to save that sadness for another video in a few minutes that we might post about the Lakers.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah. Let's get to it. Let's go.
all right, so obviously you know why we're here today. NBA playoffs started, one of our favorite times of the year, aside from the NFL playoffs as well.
Yes,
NBA
sir.
playoffs is like something that Grant and I just love. It's like one of the first things we covered on this channel, aside from a mock draft. When the
Definitely.
bubble happened. Enough said though. We're gonna start with the first matchup: Phoenix Suns versus New Orleans Pelicans. And before we go on to this matchup, shout out to New Orleans, man. Shout out to Brandon Ingram, bro,
Oh,
who had
definitely.
one of the best performances last night of his
Took,
career.
took him 6 years to barely get into the playoffs. I'm not trying to round him. He's one of my favorite players in the league, and he definitely deserves it. And I feel like that CJ McCollum trade really,
Hmm.
really helped his team boost their chances of contending for the NBA championship.
Yeah. No,
Um,
yeah. So Grant, give me your take. Give me a little. Let's hear what you think about Phoenix versus New Orleans.
so obviously it's going to be a very tough game for the Pelicans because they're obviously going against the best NBA team, the Phoenix Suns, and I think there's going to be I think they'll get like a game or two in, but I still see Phoenix Suns winning because bro, Chris Paul and Devin Booker are one of the most deadliest duos in the league. It's we have Chris Paul, a floor general, one of the smartest, one of the best players in the league, who makes great plays and can shoot from anywhere basically. And you got Booker averaging what 25 to 35 points a game. This dude can even go for 50 if he wants to. This dude is just a monster. And you obviously got the rest of the role players. Mikal Bridges, one of the best defenders, potentially defensive player of the year candidate. And you got DeAndre Ayton and you got Jay Crowder. And you obviously got a great coach, Monty Williams. So again, I'm not saying the Pelicans don't have a chance, but this is definitely going to be a very, very tough game for them. They're going to have to execute all night, 48 minutes of each match, and they're going to need to play great defense because if they don't do that, then this could be a sweep. Or if they're lucky, they get one win at New Orleans.
You know what, man? That was a great take. I agree with you 100%. Chris Paul and Devin Booker is what many teams tried to emulate years and years. You had Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum. You had John Wall and Bradley Beal, even Russell Westbrook and Bradley Beal, even though that was for one season. Everyone has been trying to get that great point guard shooting guard combination. We haven't seen one since man, it's
Curry
tough
and
to say.
Thompson.
Oh, Curry and Thompson, yes. How can I forget about them? That's like probably
Yeah,
the best one we've seen yet. But Chris Paul and Devin Booker is like the perfect matchup of youth and veteran experience of
definitely.
floor general and just pure shooter right there. And
Sniper.
sniper, Booker has that DNA in him, like of greatness. He and it's finally like coming through. Like when even Chris Paul was out, Booker was carrying this team. He was like,
Mhm.
and Mikal Bridges, one of the most underrated players in the league this year. Like he's it's a great thing. Like this is how you know that like Sixers are probably like just scratching their heads after they traded him away for who did they trade him away for?
Wait, who did they trade? Which team?
Because what's it called? They drafted Mikal Bridges, the Sixers.
Yeah, I think they got another pick in return, or
Jerry Smith or something? Was that his name or Zari Smith?
Larry Smith. I think. Let me check. I remember he's from Philadelphia too, I think.
Mikal is from Philadelphia.
Yeah, and his mom even works for it. Yeah, it was Zaire Smith in the future first round pick.
See, Phoenix, dude, they saw something in this kid, Mikal Bridges, and I'm glad they kept him around. And now, dude's like on the top of the ladder for Defensive Player of the Year. I want to see him win
Yeah,
it too.
I think he
Um,
will. He played all 82 games, and he's been. They have the best record in the league, bro. I don't see
mhm.
why he doesn't. If he doesn't win, then I wouldn't be disappointed, like on his end. But he still had a great year. He should be happy no matter what.
All right. With that said, though, I think it's Phoenix in five. I got Phoenix in
But
five.
keep one thing in mind: like Zion Williamson might come back.
If he comes back, that's a game changer.
Exactly, bro. I think this might go to Game 7 if Gumbo Eater does come back.
Gumbo Eater.
Bro, the team needs to keep him away from that freaking gumbo.
Bro, that's why they call him Louisiana Fast, huh?
Louisiana Papas.
Louisiana Fast. All right, okay. So if we're gonna go based off the bracket, the next matchup would be Dallas versus Utah.
Ooh, man, I knew Jazz already had an advantage with their star players, including Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert, and even Mike Conley. But now that Dallas Mavericks don't have Luka Doncic, they have even a bigger advantage. But I checked the score; they're winning by 3. Last time I checked, it was like 15 minutes ago. They were up 21-18. The Mavericks.
Right, the Mavericks, right?
Yeah, and I think one player that people have to keep an eye out is Jalen Brunson. He stepped up big time.
Brunson's good, bro. Brunson's good. Dinwiddie has also been as of late, he's been starting to pick up the slack that he's been dropping off at. Yeah. I know I can already tell which direction you're leaning towards. I think you're thinking Utah, right?
Yeah.
Bro, I disagree, my friend.
They have such a great team. And now that they don't have Doncic, this is going to be even of a bigger game change. If they win these 2 games at Mavericks, they're going to Utah, which is going to be even bigger disadvantage for the Mavericks since the Jazz have a really big home court advantage with their fans.
I mean, what's so worry? What do you have to worry about? Luka's white, dude. It's not like he's gonna.
Bro. Oh man, bro, that's a good one.
Yeah, no. Honestly, bro, I give it to the Mavericks. I think Luka is just a better player. He single-handedly, we've seen him how he plays, and the Jazz have this tendency to choke somewhere.
Yeah, that's true though. I agree with that.
I've always seen it with them. Plus, without Porzingis, dude, we've seen how much better Luka's been. Honestly, I give props to Mark Cuban for trying to create that European duo idea. Shark Tank. Now trying to reinvent that whole Steve Nash, Dirk Nowitzki duo, but with Luka and Porzingis. Obviously, it didn't work, but
it looks like Porzingis wanted a contract extension, and Mark Cuban's like, for that reason, I'm out.
I have Mavericks in 6, though. I
got the Jazz at 6 or 7. If Doncic comes back fully healthy after Game 2, and if the Mavericks do ball out, I see this game going to 6 or 7. But if they go to Game 6, I think the Mavericks might take it. But if they go to Game 7, then the Jazz are going to take it. But I think Jazz have the firm advantage as of right now.
All right. Now, these next 2 matchups are probably the ones I'm most interested at. I'm going to be watching these probably closely. First one we're going to go over, Golden State versus Denver. It's one of the most underrated matchups through this whole playoff race.
Yeah, my cousin Hopes mentioned that yesterday. Oh, yeah, you saw in the group chat. He said this is going to be the most I do agree with them on that. Because you got both teams who don't have any sort of overrated players. They play great fundamental basketball with I can't say it for Steve Kerr, but for Mike Malone, one of the best coaches in the league. I feel like Stephen Curry is just carrying Steve Kerr. No, but I do have a lot of respect for Steve Kerr, though. He still has a few tricks up in his sleeve to bring this team to the top 3 in the West, which is pretty hard. Considering
it's tough. Even with Curry out, you see Steve Kerr was able to slide in Jordan Poole beautifully.
Oh man,
Klay Thompson was also
bro. That guy's a beast.
Yeah, easily. It's a tough matchup. I think this is realistically a 7-game series right here, in my opinion.
I agree. So here's the thing, though. This series is going to depend on Stephen Curry and his health.
Yeah.
If Curry is in, playing 7 games per se, then the Warriors will win. But if he's out, Nuggets will easily take the series.
No, see, that's the thing. No one really has a real solution on that Golden State team to stop Jokic because their rim blocking center, James Wiseman, is out. He's not going to be playing in the playoffs.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing, though. Even if Curry does come back, it's going to be really hard to guard Jokic. My two cousins went to the game, Lakers against Nuggets, and they kept saying, "Bro, Jokic is a beast. He's a monster. Nobody."
Are you talking about Abe and David?
Abe and George.
Abe and George, the Armenian Jokic brothers.
Bro, that
Yeah,
when the Jokic brothers were taking a picture with Deuce,
bro.
that was such a random picture.
It's so good though. It's like one of
No
those
one messing with Deuce though.
no messing. That's what got all the fans riled up. They're like, "Oh, Tatum to Denver. Oh, Jokic to
Yeah,
Boston."
bro, I swear, man, these
I,
bandwagon fans.
I swear it's crazy. I honestly got Denver winning this series, and here's my reason why. I think
Mhm.
Jokic has carried this team so far, and the way he's been doing it, he broke a record recently. He had this statistic to be only player to have 1,000, 2,000 plus points, 1,500 plus rebounds, 1,000 plus or 500 plus assists in the whole
Mhm.
season, right?
Yeah, exactly, bro. Yeah, man, those statistics were crazy. A
He's
fat
like,
guy, a little fat boy from Serbia breaking records.
man, I'm telling you, bro, this is like the modern day incarnation of Arvydas Sabonis right here. You know, he's like,
Even a better
I
version.
think maybe even better. Yeah, he
No,
is the
he's
definition
definitely
of
a
the.
better version, bro. Definitely
He's
a better version. This dude
he's
is
the.
balling.
Mm-hmm. You had centers like, go ahead.
Yeah, without going, what are you saying? What are you saying?
I was gonna say we had centers like him in the past too, like
Mhm.
Vlade Divac, he had Arvydas
Yeah,
Sabonis,
definitely,
Mehmet
bro.
Okur, but this era, you can tell it's right for Jokic. Like this dude's probably gonna win a second MVP, which I don't mind. I want to see him win that second MVP too.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like Embiid has proven why he's the legit MVP for this season.
Okay, yeah, I mean, yeah,
I
Embiid's
mean,
definitely
I don't have
given
anything
the
against
numbers.
I don't have anything against Jokic. I'm not an Embiid fan, but I think Embiid's made a firm point as to why he should be MVP. The statistics
That
back
that
it
is
up.
true. That is true. I think both really have the best statistics. It's just Embiid pulled this team to a higher seed. I that's the only upside here. But with that said, just to keep things on track with the Western Conference, I
Mhm.
think Denver's winning this series, 7 games.
I think Denver's gonna win, but it's also gonna depend on Steph Curry's health.
I
It's gonna
wouldn't.
be a
I
game
wouldn't be.
changer.
I wouldn't be surprised if the Golden State wins either, because this is a really close series. That
Yeah, definitely.
all right. On to
Oh
the final
man,
series of this match. This is my favorite matchup,
it's gonna be
actually.
a very
Believe it or not,
electrifying game.
I am gonna enjoy the hell out of it. I don't think anyone in years could ever hear me say I'm gonna enjoy watching Memphis and Minnesota play against each other.
Oh yeah, man. Like I don't blame you at all. You got John Morant against Anthony Edwards,
That man.
and then you got Aquaman against Cat.
Yeah, Aquaman. Bro, I forgot Steven Adams was on this team, bro. I completely forgot about it. Hey, speaking of Aquaman, quickly shout out to Jason Momoa. He was at my workplace this week.
Dude, yeah, he told me, man. That was crazy.
That was crazy. But back to this though. No, bro, this is a tough matchup too. It's a very fun matchup, but I actually think Memphis has the edge.
Yeah, me
Realistically,
too. I agree, bro. Yeah, I
realistically.
mean, you look at John Morant, right? But why
Mm-hmm.
don't he averaged like over 23 points a game? He's a firm leader, and he's gonna get that contract extension.
Let's just even look without John Morant. Without
Yeah,
John Morant, they were so
exactly.
tough too.
That was
Like,
gonna be my next point, bro. That was gonna be my next point. 19-2 record without John Morant. Let that sink
Desmond
in.
Bain, dude. Desmond Bain, bro.
And
He
Dylan
is,
Brooks.
and Dylan Brooks, bro. Fucking Steven Adams. Even what's it called? What's my boy's name? Jaren Jackson Jr. Triple J, bro.
Well, he's one of my favorite power forwards in this league.
Fundamental power forward right there.
Mhm.
Play a good 3-way or 2-way power forward. You know,
He's a more upgraded version of a 3-and-D player. Let me tell you
a
that.
3 and D. Yeah, there we go. That's what
He's a more advanced version of that.
Mm-hmm.
I
I
think
agree.
he's gonna be an all-star in the future, in my opinion. Maybe a two-time all-star, but we'll see how it goes. Maybe he might even be better, which I
Who
hope so.
knows? I think maybe potential defensive player of the year here we got on our hands. You know.
Yeah, but I definitely see Memphis taking this, although it could go to game 6 or possibly game 7. But we'll
I
see.
think game 6. I think Memphis in 6.
Yeah, definitely Memphis is gonna win this, in my opinion.
All right, let's move on to the East, bro. This year, the East was a tough conference, bro. Everywhere. It was a bloodbath in the East,
Oh,
bro.
it's the East, man. It's not as good as the Western Conference.
Are you serious, right, dude? You have so many
Yeah.
teams in the West this year that are like, bless you.
Thank you, thank
Uh,
you.
there's so many teams in the West this year that are just 40-win teams. Like, there's only like one team that had 50 plus wins. 2 teams 50 plus. That was Memphis and Phoenix. You know. In this conference, however, you have 3 teams with 51-31 record, bro. That just goes to show how tough it is, dude.
Bro, they're playing Detroit and Wizards and Orlando. I mean,
Yeah, okay, and
and
you
the
could throw the
Knicks and the
okay,
Pacers.
yeah, okay, you could throw in the Lakers in that same conversation too.
Screw you.
Yeah, don't even come at me, dog. Don't you have Sacramento Kings, the Lakers. Oh man,
bro.
Houston Rockets, Portland
Man,
Trailblazers.
I can't argue. I mean, Blazers were good half the season until
Okay,
Lillard.
you know what, man? I feel like if Lillard didn't have that surgery, I think they could have probably boosted into that play-in tournament easily.
Only for them to get swept in the first round.
Yes, yes.
Bro, Damien, come to Lakers, man. Please. We'll give you 90% of our fan base. Just please come to the Lakers.
No, look at you, Grant. Like, you look like every other Laker fan. Oh, we're gonna get Damian Lillard this year. We're gonna get Kevin Durant this year.
I know he won't come. I know we can't trade for him, like, realistically. But, I mean, if we somehow could, like, I don't know what to say, bro.
Yeah, Grant will start working out if Damian Lillard comes to the Lakers.
Man. But yeah,
All
man,
right.
but let's jump back into the Eastern Conference.
All right, man. Bro, Miami versus Atlanta, bro. That actually sounds like a fun matchup for some reason.
It's gonna be a cool series. Although,
yeah.
Man, you know, I keep wanting to say Miami's gonna win, but Trae Young, man.
We remember you remember last year, obviously, bro. We saw the fire Trae Young put up in the NBA with just being a lower
villain.
He became an instant villain, and I like villains like him, bro.
Definitely,
I do,
man. But I'm gonna say Miami because they just have a better team overall, better core. You got starting with Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo and Tyler Hero, even Kyle Lowry, bro. He's out the Kyle Lowry 5 years ago. He maybe ate some gumbo too, but he's in the system.
Nah, man, nah. He was in Vancouver. He was eating poutine.
He was in Toronto.
He was in Toronto, bro.
Probably drinking maple syrup. I don't know.
No, bro. Trae Young is a monster, bro. Okay, but here's the big thing, bro. Capella's out.
He is?
He is. He was hurt.
And they don't have John Collins either.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, this is definitely going to Miami then. Because I thought Capella was coming back. There was some reports that he was coming. He was close to returning, but
okay, if Capella does come back though,
that's gonna be a game changer.
That's gonna be a game changer. We've seen him and Trae Young. You remember that one season game he had last year where he had 13 blocks and 13 rebounds and 10 points, bro.
Man.
Capella has a good defensive IQ.
He does.
I think he can be good enough to hold on to Bam Adebayo for a good minute. I think we might get a Trae Young show here. But then here's the thing about Miami. Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson.
Bro, Duncan Robinson has been overrated this year. Like, he's been so inconsistent.
Okay, but playoff time, we've seen how good he can be.
Well, we'll see, because at the end of the day, regular season and playoffs is very, very different from
exactly. That's what I'm trying to say.
It's a very different mentality. I agree with you on that.
You've seen these guys in the playoffs. Like, Trae Young in the playoffs is a villain, bro. Like, he might have been a joke in the regular season, but in the playoffs, bro, he's going to be an absolute villain. Same with Jimmy Butler. Bro, we got matchup against two villains right here. Like, two guys villainized.
Tiki bucket against a carpet lollipop head.
Oh, man. Okay, realistically, though, I do have Miami in 6.
Me too. I'm going to give it to Miami. But you never know what. If Trae Young does average like 40 points, 45 points a game, then I could see Atlanta taking it barely, though. But I'm still giving it to Miami as of right now.
Speaking of villains and one of the front runners of the MVP race this year, man, we got Philly versus Toronto, bro. The biggest villain of the league, Joel Embiid, bro.
Oh, man, this series is going to be tough for Sixers. This is going to go to Game 7.
Uh-huh.
I feel like this game is going to go to Game 7, bro. Toronto, like, they were so trash in the beginning, but they stepped up out of nowhere.
And speaking of Philly real quick, shout out to the homie from Fresno, Hopesum. Homie told me, he's like, Kishan, you better put this on Oopscast, man. I'm going to quote you right here. If Philadelphia gets swept in this series, or if they don't make it out, the process is a fail. They gotta trade Joel Embiid. They gotta trade James Harden. I'm like, bro, Hopesum, chill, bro. I think I realistically think Philly's gonna win in 5, though.
Really, bro? I feel like Toronto could possibly win this.
Okay, here's my reason why, bro. We've seen Harden in the playoffs before, man. He's one cold motherfucker in the playoffs. And Joel Embiid, he's on this, tear. Just he wants it. Like, you can tell he's hungry for it right now. He wants that shit. With Toronto, however, that's been a team that's been hyped up this year, especially with their rookie Scotty Barnes, bro, who, proved to be so good.
I saw that guy play in the summer league. I watched it for like 5 minutes before we headed back to LA, but bro, that guy can ball. I seen him play in person, and he's not afraid. That's what makes him so good.
You watched him. I remember you told me you watched Evan Mobley too, bro.
That was the game before Scotty Barnes' game, bro.
Yeah.
Mobley can ball and Scotty Barnes. They're both gonna kill in the league in the future. They're
Mhm.
basically the future of the league.
Right. Yeah. Easily. They're
Just put it to you that
cornerstone of
way.
it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But
But
bro,
I.
Toronto,
Mhm,
if you look at
mhm.
Toronto, you have Drake Jr., you have Pascal Siakam,
The
and
Spicy P.
Fred VanVleet, if you guys don't know who Mini Drake
Drake
is,
Jr.
Drake Jr. And then who else? They got Scotty Barnes, they got Gary Trent Jr., bro. Dude's an absolute monster. And they got OG Anunoby. This is such a complete
Gary
team.
Trent Jr. was a monster on Duke too, bro.
Yeah, definitely. No, I agree with you on that. Bro, this team, they not only can they play on the offensive, but they're a great team on the defensive
It's a
end.
fundamental team. That's what
Exactly,
it is.
bro. And they have a great coach, Nick Nurse.
He's nursing them.
And he used to come to the Lakers to nurse our team, man.
See, man, you again with the Lakers, bro. And but no,
Bro,
like I said, I think just this Philly finally figured out what they needed to do, and they're playing good basketball now. I give Philly in 5. That's my final take
it's
here.
gonna depend on James Harden.
All right, next matchup right here, we have the past champions, bro. Giannis Antetokounmpo and the Bucks versus one of the most hyped up teams in the league this year, bro.
Bro, they were so good for like 3 months. I don't know what happened to them after.
They're not
Oh,
they're not playoff material right now, and here's why. We've seen without Lonzo Ball, who was their
mhm.
big defensive
Hey,
stud.
thank you. That's all I was about to mention, bro. Lonzo Ball, he's proving to everybody that without him, the teams can't succeed.
Mm-hmm.
We saw what happened with the Pelicans last year. They were decent, but if they had Lonzo Ball, they were playing exquisite basketball.
We in reality we saw exquisite basketball on the Bulls though this year with Lonzo
Yeah,
Ball and
they were more
Lonzo,
upgraded.
Zach, DeMar, Alex Caruso,
Vucevic.
Vucevic,
Mm-hmm.
Ayo Dosunmu,
It's
Ayo.
most subs player on fantasy. Yeah, but Chicago, I don't know if they play like they did in November. I could see them beating Milwaukee in 6. But if they play
Now
the way they are right now, there's gonna be a sweep or game 5 at
I
best.
think I think it might be a gentleman's sweep. So game 5, pretty much, you know.
Yeah,
But if they really want to win, DeMar's gonna have to really carry this team.
bro, it's gonna be tough, honestly.
I hope you know this is the first time I'm rooting for DeMar DeRozan. You know, instead of booing him because I've never liked DeRozan on the
Yeah,
Raptors.
me too.
I never liked DeRozan on the Spurs. And then as soon as he entered the Bulls, I had a good feeling. I'm like, you know what? Maybe this guy might do something on the Bulls. He's finally doing it, bro. And you know, he was actually before Embiid and Jokic and Giannis were the MVP front runners. He was actually front runner for
Yeah,
MVP this season.
but I don't know what happened to him, man. Like, but they're
And
in
then
the playoffs. At least that's all that matters. Although they have a really tough matchup going against
I
Milwaukee.
realistically though, it's Milwaukee in a gentleman's sweep, game 5.
Mm-hmm.
And
Me
then
too.
fine.
I'm going with Milwaukee too.
And then finally, we have another matchup of villains here. Well, Jason Tatum's really not a villain, but the Boston Celtics have been a villainized team, especially in LA, versus probably the biggest villain for the past decade, Kevin Durant.
Oh man, your Boston Celtics, man. Who knew they were gonna get the second seed?
I certainly didn't know. I'm surprised, bro.
bro, nope. Like few people thought they were gonna get top 3 seed. Man,
Don't
you
get me
know,
wrong. Don't get me wrong. I knew they were gonna make it to the playoffs. I knew you were telling me this year. You're like, oh, I think the Celtics are gonna miss the playoffs, or maybe they're gonna make it playing at best. I'm like, fuck you,
yeah,
Grant. They're
I
gonna
did.
make it to
I
the
did.
playoffs, bro.
I
I thought
did
they'd
tell
be like
you
a 4th seed, you know? No, they jumped that shit up and got the 2nd seed,
because of
bro.
defense, because of a great defense.
You know what, man? We getting Al Horford proved so much beneficial back to us. I liked Al Horford on the Celtics. I thought it was stupid we low-key traded him away, like, you know, and then got Kemba back. He's back on the Celtics, and he knows his role on the Celtics better than
Mm-hmm.
ever, too. That's the thing.
Bro, and the best part is Tatum upgraded now. This
Tatum
dude,
upgraded. I
yeah,
want the
man.
Celtics to win, but I mean, obviously, I want them to win
Oh,
because I'm a
I
Celtics fan, you know?
I told you yesterday. I know you said Brooklyn was gonna win, but I also told you this series is gonna depend on Jason Tatum.
Okay, you know what I replied with? More than just Jason Tatum, it's gonna revolve around the team around him. We really
Jalen
need
Brown.
Jalen Brown here. This
Yeah.
is where he needs to start stepping up too. Because Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant, we've seen what they could do, the damage they've done like late season. Like this is probably the best 7th seed we might have had in a long time, dude.
Yeah. No, I
Like
agree with you. This is gonna be
realistic
really, really tough.
realistically, the Nets should have been a 1 seed, but obviously with injuries and the whole James Harden drama and Kyrie's little shenanigans and stuff and the Nets disagreement, they still somehow made it to the playoffs. It's usually teams with that much dysfunction don't make it to the playoffs. And look at the Lakers, bro. Yeah, okay, save that for later. Before
No,
I
man,
get you
but the
started
Nets.
in your sad story or sob story, I don't want to even hear it right now.
Man,
Okay,
I'm about to go Stephen A. Smith on that next
but you know
video.
what, man? I know I've been saying the Nets are gonna win. Nets are gonna win. Right here on this podcast, Celtics in 6. I'm putting it right here, right now.
I'm giving
Celtics.
it to the Celtics too, bro. Their defense is just good. It's amazing, bro. Like
I'm saying this right now, and just wait and watch when the Nets win, and I'm just gonna be sitting there in the corner with my hands crossed across.
Hey, bro, you guys got the 2nd seed. No one expect you guys to even make it to the playoffs. A play-in if lucky, but you guys got 2nd seed.
Hey, what can I say, man? Tatum's only 19.
Bro, honestly, like all jokes aside, though, this is gonna be very, very tough. Cause bro, Brooklyn, they have Kyrie and KD, like that's just nasty. But you look at
This,
Boston, they have such an amazing defensive
mhm.
system by Udoka, their coach.
Yeah, Ime Udoka has proven to be a great coach, and Brad Stevens has proven to be a great president, a good replacement for Danny Ainge so far.
Definitely, this is gonna
And
be tough.
to me, this matchup, Boston versus Brooklyn, and then Minnesota versus Memphis. Those are the 2 matchups I'm looking forward to watching. And I know Boston and Brooklyn played last year too, when Brooklyn was actually the 2 seed and Boston was the 7th seed. Yeah, the tables turned this time. I think
Honestly, like
the Celtics have more firepower this time around.
man, this is gonna be so tough though. It's gonna depend on Tatum and their defense. Like, can they step up during the playoff time? And if they do prove that they can overcome the pressure of playoff time, then Boston. But if they don't, then this is easily going to Brooklyn. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go with Boston as of right now, though.
I want to go with Boston. I
Yeah,
can't. I can only go with Boston in this case because it's like if the Lakers were playing, you would probably know. No matter if the Lakers would win or lose, I'm sure you'd go for the Lakers in this case.
I mean
It's like,
it depends on their matchup. I can't really be biased and go with the Lakers. Like you have to look at matchups and see the realistic prediction.
see, realistically, then Kevin Durant is proven to be an unstoppable force,
Mhm.
and Kyrie Irving, just one of the shiftiest guards in the league. Ben
Bro,
Simmons is out for the series, which is actually, thankfully, one of the best things that could happen to us.
I heard
But
he might
then,
be back for Game 4.
hopefully, we are up 3-0 by that point, and that momentum's dropped for the Brooklyn Nets.
Dude, if Ben Simmons comes back, that's just gonna be a game changer. If he's back though, like no, I'm not saying physically back, but like in the good physical form and mentally form, especially, then that's gonna be really, really dangerous for you guys for the Celtics.
For now, though, I'm gonna say Celtics in 6. I'm
Yeah,
gonna give it to I gave a lot of these series in 6, bro. I said a lot of these series in 6, and the 2 for them. I said one will be in 7. Most of these will be in 6, and 2 of them will be in 5.
hmm
But yeah, no. You guys give me your thought. Give us your thoughts on what do you think this series is gonna be like. We'll be back once the first round is done. We'll be back to give our predictions for the second round, and
yeah.
just our thoughts on the playoffs so far, man. Tell us what you guys think. Let us know what you guys want to see more. We'll probably make another video that will be on our IG soon as well. And yeah, no. Thanks for watching, guys. Grant.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have anything else to say at this point. Just whatever Keyshawn said, whatever if you guys feel like disagree with us, we're more than happy to chat with you guys. Come to our differences, and yeah, that's it.
As Grant and I always say, agree to disagree.
Definitely.
And
All
yeah,
right,
guys,
fellas. Deuces, guys. See y'all later.
signing out.